figure out some shuttle system, it'd be great. Anyone have any questions? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Moving on to my news.
Well, we have Trustee with Connor and Sarton here.
She's on the agenda, it's just further down.
Move her up.
Sure.
I know Andy has to leave at 3.
Oh,
That'd be great if we could move her up.
We're moving her
And
down.
order if that's okay.
right on. Come on up. Yes, ma'am.
She's on the agenda.
Yes. Looks a lot too organized for us, but thank you.
That went in my email. Print it. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Tressa Sarton. I think I introduced myself to everybody. I am partners with Bo Connor with the firm of Connor and Sarton, and we did serve as your auditor this year. This year being your fiscal year end of June, calendar year of December 31, 2021. We always appreciate being serving that capacity and being your auditor. You do have the audit report for the year end. It also is comparative, so you will have the figures of 2020 in there as well for comparative purposes. We conducted the audit, financial statement audit, and then it's also in accordance with government auditing standards. You are considered a governmental entity, and so it falls under those requirements. Just a little bit extra work and an additional report that is being included. Just in a nutshell, we did issue an unmodified opinion. It's the clean opinion. There were no findings and no management letter. That's what, as a board, you would really want to hear. Financial statements are presented materially correct. Just a real quick overview of what's in the report. Significant changes. For the year, you did have excess revenues over expenditures of $558,000. And that is compared to last year. For 2020, there was actually an excess of expenditures over revenue of about $172,000. We can look at the specifics when we get to the statements, but the big difference, COVID. It's always, that's been a big factor, of course. It affected your revenues. And then also there were some grant funds that were paid out in 2020. That was kind of the final, I think, as far as the grant money goes, and you don't see that in 2021. If you want to we'll just flip through the financial statements really quick. Right after your table of contents is our independent auditor's report. Again, clean opinion, unmodified. The statements are stated materially correct. And I might say too, there's not a whole lot of adjustments made. So I think that's something that you as a board should know, that you could have some confidence in the statements that you get on a regular basis, because there's not clean up and all that kind of stuff at year end. You've got some pretty good numbers on a regular basis. Financial statement, it may look a little different than what you've seen in the past. It's just basically the powers that be like to rearrange things, but it says basically the same thing. You are a component unit of the city of Conway. We do the audit, like I said, financial statement audit, and then also in accordance with government auditing standards. Following the opinion is a management discussion and analysis. This basically is just a narrative, kind of some summary of the financial information and things that went on, just more in narrative form. I think it makes it maybe just a little bit easier to read sometimes. Following that are the actual financial statements. Again, as far as your balance sheet goes, it's very comparable year to year. Major difference is your increase in cash, attributable to the fact that you did have excess revenues over expenditures. Page 6 is where I'm at, the statement of activities. Here you see specifically that increase in revenue. There was just, you took in more because obviously there was more going on. We weren't dealing with the COVID issues. The expenditures, you'll see the decrease in those expenditures. Again, you had that $500,000 grant in 2020 that you did not have in 2021. The statement on page 7 is your cash flows. Basically shows just the ins and outs of your cash. Your statements are stated, you use the accrual basis, so you've got receivables, payables in the statements themselves. This statement shows what's going on with just your cash flows, inflows and outflows. Following the statements are the footnotes. Gives a little bit more detail of some of the numbers that are on the statements, and a little background information. And they're pretty standard disclosures, nothing really significant or unusual. You may want to look at note 3 and note 4 gives a little bit more detail on the receivables, payables. Your statements that you get on a regular basis are cash basis, and this is an accrual basis. So we do the adjustments for the receivables and payables, and that gives a little bit more detail on what's going on there. The non-financial section of the audit report is our report that's required to be issued for the government auditing standards. We are required to look at internal control and compliance with this type of audit, and this report addresses that. Again, no findings, nothing that needed to be reported or brought to the board's attention. It is good news. Like I said, as a board, I think I probably could have stopped at that. You got a clean opinion. That's what you want to hear. So it's a very quick general overview, but I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any. And also, I like the board and your accountant to know that you see us at year end, but we're available year round. If something comes up, you need something, you have our number, and we're more than welcome to do what we need to do. So,
Thank
okay.
you.
Especially, thank you very much.
Okay,
Appreciate
we
it.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for letting that go first.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
You.
Alright.
Can I ask a question about our CD? When do we ever adjust that or add to it?
Not since I've been.
'Cause I noticed it's $2,000 less than what the audit is year in 21. What would that be?
That's a good question.
I got 5 sets of eyes on me.
Yeah.
I Write the check. So
I'm just
I don't
asking
know.
because I don't understand the CD fully.
Sheila, the city goes out every so often and
Mhm.
gets bids for renewal of CD rates.
Mhm.
And so
I don't know that we've ever done that as far as the A&P Commission.
I think we just piggyback on whatever
Mhm.
the city does.
Mhm.
That's the way that I understand.
That's my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But
Is
it
it
still
CD
doesn't-
is it with Centennial?
I think that
Yes.
it is.
So we get
Mhm.
a statement from Centennial. Have we ever seen one recently?
I'll have not, probably.
We have not.
I was going to say, yeah, we haven't.
You're saying there's 2,000 less?
Can email you the statement that I sent
Well,
to
her
Connor and
audit
Sarton.
says 471 and on the books it's 469, but I mean it's not much. I'm just curious how we
Mhm.
account for that. Do we need to adjust it, invest in it, or for the renewal dates? We need the capital expense.
Well, and CDs right now might be drawing more interest than they were probably 2 years ago when we did this, so.
Yeah,
might not be
very
a
well
bad
could
time
be
to
the
shop it
case.
because
Yeah.
there's much money. Yeah. Sure.
There was a year-end adjustment for your CDs,
Okay.
and it was probably the interest for the year.
Okay.
And now that the audit is wrapped up, we'll get those final year-end adjustments posted to the books, and then your books will reflect what's in the audit report. So, in it, like you talked about, interest is not a huge, unfortunately, not a huge number month to month. And so I don't think it skews your financial statements or makes it immaterially, incorrect to wait until year end. Plus, it's probably an annual payment anyway on the, on the interest.
Is it on a semi-annual renewal? Do you have any idea?
I can't tell you that off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I don't have
Jeremy,
that in front of me.
This is absolutely from memory now, but I think it's a 2 year. Don't we do them for 2 years?
I think
That
so.
sounds correct.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking it's 2
I'm
years.
thinking it's a 2 year.
Mhm.
And see, that makes perfect sense because, again, your statements are cash basis. And so we probably accrued that year's worth of interest that's not physically paid yet. I mean, you know,
Mhm.
Will be.
I think this board needs to know the next renewal date, and at that time, we probably need to
Mhm.
see what our options are with it.
Right.
I
Not a
I think that's a very good idea.
Task
Not the-
Jill with
Yeah, I can send you all the statement. Same
Okay.
statement I sent to them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Initials.
Go to page, well, 3 is the most telling page. We are 105,275.42 in the black this month compared to 40,392.05 last year. Obviously, revenue was 70,000 more. Our numbers are starting to come back up. That's the exact, pretty much exact difference, close to it from last year to this year. As always, the general ledger is just backing the financial statements, and then the account reconciliations for both accounts are the same.
Have a whole lot of fundings this month, did we?
Travis had a very low month. But
Ready for the big paper?
if y'all are ready for the big paper,
Mhm.
we
Big
can move
paper
to the
time.
big paper. You go to page 3. First 2 pages are just the allocations to the city and A&P Commission. Total collections for July were 518,829.66, up over July 2021 by 69,449.33, which is a 13.39% difference, and then up over July of 2020 by 182,927.24, which is 35.26%.
Wow. Wow.
I feel like the 22 over 21 numbers are starting to be good comps now,
Yeah,
Mhm.
without figuring the pandemic.
I think
Right.
you might be right. Because it was about this time last year. Kind of started getting around, coming out of stuff.
And the 4th page is delinquent collections, which for 24,935.62, which is 4.81% of total collections. And 5th page is collections excluding delinquents, which is 493,894.04, which is up over July of 2021 by 63,787.94, which is 12.92%. And then pay simple went back up again to 211,591.44, which is up over July of 2021 by 94,540.24, and consists of 40.78% of total collections.
I know we discussed this last month. Looks like that's kind of peaking though.
Yeah.
Since it's staying the same.
Mhm.
Well,
Ish.
ish. These short-term rentals are starting to pick up more now on the reporting online, and so that'll contribute to an increase in the coming months a little bit.
Where do we stand on Airbnbs and the number of them that we have? Do we know those numbers right now? Anybody?
Denise, do you have any idea?
Do we know those numbers?
That
I'm
15
thinking that there's 5 times that many
At
At
least.
least.
that we don't know about,
Mm-hmm.
that we don't know about. I heard a city alderman in another town tell me recently the way that we allow people to continue to have Airbnbs, everyone has a rating. They're either at the top of the list or they're next to the top 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, basically. And as long as they kept a 4 or 5 rating, they got to continue to be an Airbnb. And I thought that was a great way to make sure that people keep the property clean, they keep it up. I hate to steal. No, I don't. I love to steal ideas. And I thought that was a great idea. But that's just something to knock around in y'all's departments of the world.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, yeah, there's probably so many out there still, it'd be hard to,
But we are
Mhm.
collecting some money from them.
Some.
Good.
I
Good.
mean,
Good.
we have a few stragglers that are.
Mr. Patel would like to know
Mhm.
that probably.
Finding difficulty and
It's 37 currently on VRBO.
That you
I can just, without
Right now.
dates selected, there's 37 properties listed. Maybe 4 of those are hotels.
I would say that some of the permits that we have cover, like it's one company that owns multiple properties, so that could account for some of that, but there are definitely a large number that we don't have permits for.
I think the ones that own multiples, don't we make them get one different permit for each one?
Okay. There's a lot though.
Mhm.
So
There
how do we
is.
police that? How do we? make
At
sure
one time,
everybody's
there was a
spending their-
program that we could look into purchasing, but the money, the taxes we'll make off this versus the program is, I mean, it's almost a wash. That's what my understanding from a month or two ago. We talked about it, and so that's why it's kind of.
Yes, we had talked about that at one point. So I have been in contact with another company and we haven't been able to connect. We keep missing each other, but I'll continue to follow up with them and just see if their program is any more financially viable for the commission. So hopefully I'll have an update on that next month.
And just to recap, we cannot require the companies, the VRBO and the Airbnb to collect and remit.
You could request that they did, but that they don't really have
Is it
any.
similar to delivery services?
They don't
Yes.
really. They can say that they are collecting them and remitting the tax, but then yes, just like with the delivery companies, you won't get any information. And this is to my understanding, any detailed information of what they actually collected versus how much they remit back to us. So, they could send $100 and say that's all that was collected, but you don't know how true that is.
Every time I book one, there's always a line for taxes, and there's always a line for cleaning fee.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that they have that capability.
Well, they definitely have the capability.
Airbnb has the capability, but VRBO does not. That's been a major problem with these short-term rentals is that they're not sure if the company's paying their taxes or if they're paying the taxes, and they feel like they're being charged the taxes and that Airbnbs or VRBO are collecting them, but they're not remitting them.
Mhm.
So that's been a problem so far.
So we'll see if I know any more next month.
Thank you.
It's
The only way police might say is just go to the address. That's gonna be.
I mean, it's the rental problem. We had a couple notices that code enforcement did. They mailed them because the property, the property people are just renting it.
Right, yeah. You have to monitor.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know yet, but probably.
Thank you. We'll wait and go through the delinquents before we do the motion you want to
Yeah,
do.
let's make a motion to approve the financials as submitted.
Okay. All right, I got a motion and a second. All in favor of the financials, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Andy. Any opposed? Have a great day. On to the delinquents. Which is looking very good.
Looks really
Looks
good.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with rehearsal?
I don't know. I have a call into him, but I have not.
Is that just the same number put down 3 different months? The same. Just
No.
one time deal.
I'm sorry. I have a new assistant. She's still learning.
That's-
Sorry.
Consistency.
Right. Those are just proposed figures anyway. I mean,
Well, in Quality Inn, we don't typically get hotels on here.
no, but they've been hovering on being delinquent almost every month, and then they haven't paid April.
Hmm.
And we're back in the same situation with Pastor Cito again. And Chivas Locos, which we knew that would happen. And Ed's is the only one that I think code enforcement served any kind of notice to or mailed a notice to that did not respond at all.
Hi, guys.
Ah.
Yes, we have given first and second notices to heads. So code enforcement needs direction from the commission and city attorney, I guess, of what step we want to take next with them.
90 days, that's a cease and desist. And a citation.
It is.
I mean, they're the only ones that have made no effort to contact me
And
whatsoever.
require them to come to the next meeting.
We can.
Okay.
That wasn't that our new rule for 90 days?
I believe so.
Mhm.
Memory serves.
Yep.
Automatically happens.
Now, La Huerta, Jill, I don't think it was on last month's list. But is that,
I don't think it was either, and I'm not really sure why it was not.
okay?
We're still learning on our end
Um,
with the new assistant.
well,
They're
we could-
delinquent on beverage too, so
Okay. Well, we're not ready for citation there yet, right?
we'll have to serve them a first and second notice.
All right, now, the two that you mentioned that we mailed for the Airbnb,
Yes.
have you heard anything back from them?
Yes, they have communicated with me and they filed 0 reports.
Okay, well, keep me posted on those and we'll
Yes, ma'am.
act accordingly. Okay, that's the only questions I have.
I need to make a motion that we have them come in. It's been approved last time. Charles, is there a motion that needs to be made when we're bringing somebody in? Or since we already approved the 90-day that they come in? sir. So I need a motion for Ed's Bakery owner, manager, please show up or come to the next meeting, which would be what, September
The 12th.
the 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, is that something that we notify them of, or does the commission do that, or how?
I think it's a part of the notice that. Do what?
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Any other questions as far as the delinquent?
Here,
All
so
right.
you go ahead.
I need a motion to approve the 30 days proposed assessed notice, 60 days to intend to revoke, and 90 days to cease and desist enforcement. If
So moved.
Second.
I move by Ms. Shuler and second by Mike, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Miss Rachel.
Okay. Couple of things in addition to what I'd sent in your report is that, so arkansas.gov they have a whole section where you can add listings on their website of attractions, like restaurants and hotels could also do it if they wanted to, but it's better targeted at attractions, I believe. Anyway, they've offered to come to Conway and do a lunch and learn for anyone who wants to attend. It's free. They would provide lunch. It's a 2-hour session, and they basically go through details of how to add your business listing on the arkansas.com website, which gets a ton of traffic from tourists. So I am in the process of planning that with them. We're thinking mid-September, and that'll just be something free that we can offer to attractions, and we'll hopefully add to the Conway presence on that website. I put in the report that I have talked to Joey Walters with AAA about future of All-Star Games in Conway. We're planning to meet, I would say, within a month. He was just trying to get all of their financials from 2022 together before we met in person, because they want to figure out if we're going to do this or not going forward. So I have told him that we'll want to relook at that contract, and that it would not be the same going forward as it has been for 10 years. Next week, I believe, I am going to go to a meeting at UCA to discuss the 2024 Eclipse. I don't know how much we've talked about this, but Conway is right in the path of totality for the 2024 Eclipse. It's in April. It'll happen around 11 o'clock, I believe. And in other towns where this has happened, in, I can't remember what year it was, 2016 maybe, people, including him, traveled hundreds of miles to get to a place that will have the same visibility that we will have in Conway. So there's a committee at UCA that's starting to put together some events. Mary Margaret from the chamber and I have started talking, and I know that there is some talk within city government about some things too. So hopefully we can get all of those groups together at some point and plan something that will be impactful for us.
What's the date on that again?
Do what?
What's the date on that?
I believe it's April 15th, but I'm not positive. I know that it's mid-April. And I think that it's at like 11 o'clock or 11:30 or somewhere around there, but I don't have that written down, so I'm not 100% confident. But as I mentioned in the report, Derek has some interest in attending teams in October, so I'm reaching out to our Arkansas tourism representative to see about getting him in the booth with the rest of the Arkansas people, which I think could be really beneficial. Steve went with me probably 9 years, 10 years ago. And I think he saw some benefit in it. And this year it's in Oklahoma City, so it's a lot closer. And hopefully that'll work out, and Derek will enjoy it, and we'll get some more business off of it. In 2 weeks, I have a meeting in Russellville with some other tourism people to talk about, well, just tourism sales and kind of bi-yearly updates. As far as advertisements, we have an ad in Newton's, Arkansas, and I usually flag this, but I didn't this year. Well, I'll find that in a minute. Another ad, baseball ad from Sports Destination Management, along with a listing. I can't remember what this is from, which I apologize for not writing that down. I tore it off, and usually it has the name of the publication on it, and it doesn't on there. So just a few more ads that ran this month, as well as the digital one that I sent you a screen grab of in my email. I've been served that ad multiple times on varying different websites, and I know Jamie has too. So hopefully other people outside of my office are seeing it as well. So any questions? Okay.
Thank you for your
Thanks,
report.
Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. Steve.
Y'all get me again. So on the sports side of things, August is a little bit slower. We're kind of, it's a month in between the spring season and the fall season. But we did have a 3-day Friday, Saturday, Sunday fast pitch event this past weekend. And then on the expo side of things, we just wrapped up Raylana. We have another gun show coming in the next weekend at the Expo Center. And then we have a train and hobby show coming in the last weekend of this month. And then September, right after Labor Day, all the sports tournaments gear right back up for the fall season.
Great. Thank you.
No,
We need some
thanks.
August events next year. Maybe
August
funding.
events.
August events.
August events.
Any old business. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
Second.
Guys, thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Jill, with the audit.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
I'm not really sure. Bo was
I guess since
It
it's
is